When did you realize you raised your kids right? I'm divorced and been raising my 12-year-old son Kyle alone for the past 3 years. Money's been tight since the split, but I've tried to keep his life as normal as possible. Every morning before school, I pack him the same lunch: turkey sandwich on wheat bread, apple slices, and one of those stupid dad jokes written on a napkin. Been doing it since first grade, even when my ex-wife said it was embarrassing. Kyle never really says much about the lunch notes anymore. Just grabs his backpack, says thanks dad, and heads out. I figured maybe he was getting too old for the corny jokes, but I kept doing it anyway. Force of habit, I guess. Last Tuesday morning started like any other. Kyle ate his cereal while I made his sandwich and scribbled another terrible joke on the napkin. Something about why fish don't pay taxes because they live below the sea level. Real dad humor gold right there. He grabbed everything and left for school without even looking at the note. Around noon, my phone rang. It was the school principal, Mrs. Franklin. My stomach dropped immediately because those calls are never good news. I was already imagining Kyle in detention or worse. But she wasn't calling about Kyle getting in trouble. She was calling because another kid, Miguel, had been stealing Kyle's lunch every day for almost 2 weeks. I expected her to tell me Kyle finally snapped and got into a fight about it. Instead, she said something that completely caught me off guard. Kyle had walked into her office that morning and asked if he could give Miguel his lunch. Not just that day, but every day going forward. He even wanted to give him the stupid joke napkin too. I was confused as hell. Why would my son just hand over his lunch to the kid who'd been stealing it? That's when Mrs. Franklin explained what Kyle had figured out on his own. Miguel's mom had lost her job about a month ago. His dad wasn't in the picture. The family was struggling to put food on the table, and Miguel was coming to school hungry most days. Kyle noticed Miguel looking tired and weak during class, so he followed him after school one day just to see if he was okay. When Kyle saw Miguel's situation at home, he didn't tell a teacher. He didn't embarrass the kid by making a big deal about it. He didn't even tell me. Instead, he started bringing 2 lunches to school every day, one labeled with a K for Kyle, and one labeled with an M for Miguel. My voice cracked when I asked Mrs. Franklin about the napkin jokes. She actually laughed and said Kyle had been writing separate notes for Miguel too. Different jokes, so Miguel wouldn't feel like he was getting Kyle's leftovers. When I picked Kyle up from school that afternoon, I asked him why he hadn't told me what was happening. He just shrugged like it was no big deal and said I'd taught him that if you see someone hurting, you help them quietly, not for attention or praise, just because it's the right thing to do. I don't cry much. Haven't really since the divorce. But that night I sat in my car in our driveway for 20 minutes with my forehead against the steering wheel, crying like a baby, proud and heartbroken at the same time. The next morning I made 3 lunches instead of 2. One for Kyle, one for Miguel, and one extra just in case there was another kid who needed it. Kyle smiled when he saw all 3 bags on the counter. That's when I knew I'd done something right as a dad.